Ederson is coming to Old Trafford, and this is the signing we have all been waiting for. Let me ask you something. How many times have you watched Manchester United struggle in midfield and thought, we just need someone who can control the game, someone who does not lose the ball under pressure, someone who breaks up play, wins tackles, and still finds a way to move the ball forward cleanly, someone who actually looks like they belong in the middle of the park at a club the size of Manchester United? If you have asked that question even once over the last few years, then today is a good day for you, because Jose Ederson is coming to Old Trafford. A verbal agreement has been reached between Manchester United and Atalanta. The deal is almost done. And for the Red Devils faithful, this could be the moment the midfield finally gets fixed. Let us break this down properly. Who is Ederson? What does he bring? Why does he make sense for Manchester United? And what does this deal actually look like? Grab a seat, because we are going all in on this one. Who is Jose Ederson? And why should you be excited? If you have not been watching Serie A closely over the past few seasons, you might be asking yourself who this guy is. And that is a fair question. Not everyone follows Italian football the way they follow the Premier League. But trust me, once you understand what this man does on a football pitch, you will understand why Manchester United have been chasing him for a long time. Jose Ederson is a 26-year-old Brazilian midfielder who currently plays for Atalanta. He joined the Italian club back in the summer of 2022 from Salernitana, and from the moment he arrived in Bergamo, he made it clear he was on a different level. He did not just settle into the squad, he took the place over. He became one of the most important players in one of the best teams in Serie A. What makes Ederson special is that he is what you would call a complete central midfielder. He can do everything you need from someone playing in the middle of the park. He is strong and aggressive when the team does not have the ball, winning tackles and cutting out passing lanes before danger even develops. But when the ball is at his feet, he is calm, composed, and precise. He does not panic. He does not give the ball away cheaply. He sees the game clearly and makes good decisions. He prefers playing as a central midfielder, but he is comfortable in different roles across the middle. That kind of flexibility is exactly what a modern top club needs. You do not want someone who can only do one thing. You want someone who gives the manager options, and Ederson does exactly that. This season alone, he has played in 41 matches across all competitions and contributed 5 goals. For a defensive-minded central midfielder, that is a solid return. It tells you he is not just sitting deep and heading things clear. He is getting into positions, arriving late into the box, and contributing at both ends. He has also played a big part in some of Atalanta's best moments in recent years. If you remember Atalanta winning the UEFA Europa League in the 2023 to 2024 season, Ederson was right in the middle of all of it. That kind of experience at a high level in European competition is not something every midfielder can put on their resume. He has been there, played big games, and delivered. So when people say this is a good signing, they are not just being hopeful fans. The numbers back it up, the eye test backs it up, and the fact that clubs like Atletico Madrid were also chasing him tells you everything you need to know about how highly he is rated. The deal itself, what we know so far now, let us get into the actual transfer details, because this is where things get really interesting. According to journalist Matteo Moretto, who is one of the most reliable names in European transfer reporting, Manchester United and Atalanta have reached a verbal agreement for the transfer of Ederson. When someone like Moretto says a verbal agreement is in place, that is not just noise. That is a serious step toward a done deal. Italian journalist Michele Criscitiello also confirmed that Manchester United have an agreement with Atalanta on all fronts and that the deal is almost closed. 2 credible journalists from different countries confirming the same thing at the same time is about as good as it gets before the official announcement comes. So what is the fee? Reports suggest the deal is worth around €50 million, with some outlets reporting figures between £46 million on the lower end and €53 million on the higher end, depending on the source and the add-ons involved. Either way, we are looking at a significant investment from Manchester United, and one that reflects just how much they value this player. Now, here is an important piece of context that actually makes the fee feel very reasonable. Ederson's contract at Atalanta expires next summer. That means if Atalanta did not sell him this window, they risked losing him for free in 12 months' time. Clubs do not like that situation. It gives the selling club very little leverage and means they have to accept a lower price or risk getting nothing at all. Atalanta are smart operators. They know how the transfer market works. So rather than holding out for a massive fee and watching him walk away for nothing, they are ready to do business at a sensible price. For Manchester United, that is a huge advantage. Getting a player of Ederson's quality for around 50 million euros when his replacement value is probably double that is good business. On top of that, personal terms are already sorted. Reports say Ederson is prepared to join on a contract running until 2031, which is 5 years of commitment to the club. His salary is reported to be around £100,000 per week, which in today's Premier League market is very reasonable for a player of his standing. This is not someone who is going to break the wage structure or cause problems in the dressing room. He wants to be here, the money works, and the contract length shows he is not just looking for a short-term move. Fabrizio Romano, the most trusted name in football transfers globally, had already confirmed earlier in the week that Ederson would be open to joining Manchester United. Romano does not say things like that unless he has spoken to people close to the player or the club. So by the time Moretto confirmed the verbal agreement, everything was pointing in one direction. This deal is happening. Why did Manchester United need Ederson so badly? This is a question worth asking properly, because understanding the need helps you understand why this signing matters so much. Cast your mind back over the last few seasons. How many times did Manchester United look disorganised in midfield? How many times did the opposition run through the middle like there was nothing there? The lack of a true controlling presence in central midfield has been one of the biggest problems at this club for years. When Casemiro first arrived, there was genuine excitement. Here was a player who had won the Champions League multiple times with Real Madrid, someone with the experience and quality to anchor the midfield and give the team stability. And for a while, he delivered. But then the performances started to dip, and it became clear that the team could not rely on one aging defensive midfielder to do everything. The question Manchester United have been asking themselves is this: who can be the engine of this midfield for the next 5 years? Who can control games, protect the defence, and still contribute going forward? Kobbie has shown real promise, and there is genuine excitement about his future. But he needs a partner alongside him, someone more experienced, someone who can do the dirty work and allow Mainu to express himself going forward. Ederson is that player. Think about what he brings specifically to what Michael Carrick is trying to build. Carrick is a manager who cares deeply about how teams play. He wants control. He wants the midfield to be a platform that everything else is built on. He was one of the best midfielders this club ever had because he understood positioning. He understood when to pass and when to hold. And he understood that sometimes the most important thing you can do in the middle of the park is simply not lose the ball. Ederson embodies all of those qualities. He is not flashy. He will not beat 5 players and curl one into the top corner. But he will win the ball back quickly. He will find the right pass under pressure, and he will give the team a base to work from. In a team that also has creativity in other areas, that kind of reliable, intelligent midfielder is absolutely priceless. There is also the physical side of things to consider. The Premier League is one of the most demanding leagues in the world in terms of intensity and physicality. Not every player who looks great in Serie A or La Liga can handle the step up. But Ederson has the right profile for English football. He is strong, he has a big engine, and he covers a lot of ground. He was built for this kind of game. The Carrick factor. Why this signing makes perfect sense right now. Let us talk about Michael Carrick for a moment because his arrival as Manchester United manager is hugely relevant to this transfer. Carrick taking charge of Manchester United is a story in itself. A player who gave so much to this club during his playing days, who was always seen as one of the smartest footballing minds at Old Trafford, now gets the chance to shape the club's future from the dugout. And the early signs of his vision for how he wants to play are becoming clearer with each passing week. What kind of footballer does Carrick want in his midfield? Think about the kind of player he was himself. He was not the loudest or the most spectacular, but he was always in the right position, always making the right decision, always making the team work better, just by being on the pitch. He understood the game on a level that very few players do. Now ask yourself, does that description remind you of anyone in this transfer story? Because Ederson fits that profile almost exactly. He is the kind of footballer that a football-minded manager falls in love with. Not because of the highlights reel, but because of the impact he has on the team every single game, whether it is noticed by the casual viewer or not. Carrick knows better than most what it feels like to play in a midfield that is not working, and he knows what a truly good central midfielder looks like. He would have identified Ederson as a priority target long before any of the reports came out. This feels like a manager who knew exactly what he wanted and went and got it. And this is being called Carrick's first signing as Manchester United manager. That matters. It means he has put his name to this deal. He has looked at the options, decided this is the player who fits his system and his philosophy, and pushed for it to happen. When a manager backs a signing that strongly, the player tends to land in a team set up to make him look good. That is a good sign for Ederson and for United fans. What about the competition for his signature? You might be wondering, if this player is so good, why did other clubs not beat Manchester United to him? That is a fair thing to ask. The truth is, other clubs were very much involved. Atletico Madrid were probably the most serious competitors. Reports indicated that Atletico had actually received the green light from Ederson himself to push for a deal, which means at some point the player was open to joining them. But the difference between Atletico Madrid and Manchester United is that United were able to close the deal with Atalanta in a way that Atletico simply could not match. Fabrizio Romano had confirmed that Atalanta were asking for around 45 million euros, and Atletico struggled to meet those demands. Manchester United had the financial backing and the willingness to spend, and that is ultimately what made the difference. Money talks in football, but so does clarity of intent. Manchester United wanted this player, and they went and made it happen. Atletico losing out here is actually a signal of how serious Manchester United were about this signing. When you beat out a historically successful European club for a player, it tells you something about the pull of the club and the seriousness of the project. The other interesting angle here is that interest from other clubs had been building for a while. Liverpool were monitoring Ederson earlier. Manchester City had him on their radar at one point. Multiple major clubs across Europe were aware of what he could offer. The fact that Manchester United got their man ahead of all of them is a genuine statement of intent. What happens next, and when will it be official? So the verbal agreement is in place. Personal terms are sorted. The fee is agreed. What is left? Typically, at this stage, the clubs need to finalise the written agreements, run through the official paperwork, and then complete the medical. None of those steps are particularly dramatic once the big decisions are already made. Barring any unexpected complications, this transfer is as good as done. The timing of the announcement will depend on when both clubs want to make it official. With the summer transfer window now open, there is no reason to delay. Manchester United will want to get their new signing bedded in as quickly as possible ahead of the new season, and Ederson himself will want to get started at his new club. Carrick will no doubt be eager to get Ederson into training, to start working on how he fits into the system, and to begin building the midfield combinations that could make this team much more competitive next season. For the Red Devils community, the wait for the official announcement might feel long, but in transfer terms, we are at the finish line. The deal is done in everything but the paperwork. The celebrations can begin. What Ederson brings to the next chapter of Manchester United. Let us paint a picture of what next season could look like with Ederson in the middle of the park. Imagine United pressing high up the pitch in the first 10 minutes of a game. The opposition try to play out from the back. The ball comes into midfield and Ederson is already there, reading the pass before it happens, intercepting cleanly and turning it into an immediate attack. The crowd roars, the tone is set. Then later in the game, with United protecting a lead, Ederson drops a little deeper, shields the back four, wins a physical duel against a strong opponent, and recycles the ball calmly into a wide area to relieve pressure. No fuss, no drama, just a professional doing his job at the highest level. And then maybe in the 75th minute, he arrives late into the box from a corner, times his run perfectly, and gets on the end of a cross to put the game to bed. 5 goals this season for Atalanta, remember. This is not a midfielder who disappears at the attacking end of the pitch. That is the kind of player you are getting. Reliable, dynamic, intelligent, physical, and capable of affecting games in multiple ways. That combination is rare. That is why clubs all over Europe were watching him. That is why this transfer is such a big deal. Now think about him alongside Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo is a young, technically excellent footballer who is going to get better and better over the next few years. Right now, he needs a partner who takes pressure off him, who handles the defensive side of things, and lets him play with freedom. Ederson does exactly that. Together they could form one of the best midfield partnerships in the Premier League within a very short space of time. A message to the Red Devils community. If you have been feeling a little uncertain about the direction of this club, if you have been wondering whether things are really changing or whether it is more of the same, then let this signing be your answer. This is not a panic buy. This is not a player no one else wanted. This is a 26-year-old Brazilian midfielder who was being chased by Atletico Madrid, monitored by Liverpool and City, and admired across Europe, and Manchester United got him. This is what a club with a clear plan looks like. This is what it looks like when a manager knows what he wants and the people above him back him to go and get it. Carrick has made his first statement, and it is a strong one. Every great midfield in the history of this club has had a controller, a player who made things work without always getting the headlines. Carrick himself was that player for years. Scholes was that player. Keane was that player in a different way. Now Ederson gets the chance to be that player for this generation of Manchester United fans. The project is real. The investment is real. The ambition is real. And this summer, it looks like the old giants of English football are starting to wake up again. Do you think Ederson is the signing United needed this summer? Yes. Do you believe he and Mainoo can become the best midfield partnership in the Premier League? Let us know in the comments. The Transfer Hub is built on conversations like these, and with a deal this exciting, there is a lot to talk about. Welcome to Old Trafford, Jose. The fans are ready for you. The bottom line. Jose Ederson to Manchester United is happening. A verbal agreement is in place. The fee is around 50 million euros. Personal terms are sorted on a 5-year contract. Carrick wants him. The player wants to be there. Atalanta are ready to sell. Every piece is in place. For the Red Devils community, this is the start of something. Not just a transfer, but a statement of direction. A young, hungry, world-class midfielder walking through the doors at Old Trafford and making this club better from day one. The rebuild is real, and it starts in the middle of the park. Keep your eyes on your notifications. The official announcement could come any day now. When it does, remember where you heard it first. And when Ederson is bossing Premier League midfields next season, remind yourself that this was the moment it all began. Stay locked in. The summer is just getting started.